Hey, it's your boy, Dr. Rich. So I have a couple of things. One, happy Saturday. I hope you're getting ready to get into spring. Two, I want to I want to send this message out to anybody who primarily is working on their dissertation, somebody who has decided to achieve, or to pursue doctoral education, and they seem like, man, I got to give up because this is what's going on, or that's what's going on, the school, or the mentor, or the this, or the that, or the other. People, I'm telling you, it took me 4 years to complete my PhD, my actual dissertation. And in those 4 years, it taught me a whole lot. Now, in those 4 years, I left a job. Well, I got into a relationship. I lost. Well, I didn't lose a job. I left a job. Less than a month later, I lost my father. Damn near lost my house. Lost my relationship. Had a child. All of this stuff while I was writing a dissertation. I don't mean, I mean writing the dissertation. In the midst of writing the dissertation, and I completed all my classes. I did my comprehensive exam, and the only thing I had left to do, was the actual dissertation. So when I started, I thought, oh, this is great. I can handle this. It took me so long. I actually went to, at my school, we had something called dissertation writers retreats. And it's a beautiful thing. If you've ever gone to a school, if you go into an online school, an accredited online school, like my school, Capella University, great school at Capella. A lot of people say, oh, it's an online school, so it's easier than brick and mortar. No, it's not. Obviously, people who say those things are not enlisted in online education at the doctoral level. I'm telling you, it's very, very difficult. Okay, I went to what's called a dissertation writers retreat. I went to two, actually, one in Atlanta and one in Chicago. And basically, what they do is they give you the opportunity to leave your home to come to a hotel in another city where they have at the time they were having a colloquia. But it's a community of learners, and it is a writer's retreat. It is something that you can do as a scholar who has finished all their coursework, and they finished their comprehensive exam, and they're actively in the dissertation phase of their PhD. Now, PhD takes, or PhD or a doctorate or a terminal degree that is not a professional degree like a JD or an MD, you are required to complete classes. You are required to, after you finish your classes, conduct a comprehensive exam, take a comprehensive exam so they can know that what you learned can be applied. And the last phase, that's why when you read dissertations, you say for the partial fulfillment of. Yeah, what that means is this is but the third part of what it takes to get a PhD or a terminal degree. So the Writers Retreat actually got us away from our homes, away from everything, and they put us, they put you in a hotel. They give you guidelines, like, you arrive on a weekend. They give you guidelines about what you want to do, and they have real live scholars, statisticians, people who can actually help you with your writing. And it did me a world of good. The first one in Atlanta, the first one in Chicago, yeah, I used it. I thought that I had it done. And the second one I had to go to was in Chicago. And I really got a lot of the things done there. And at the time, my school was doing chapters 1, 2, 3 as your proposal. Then you went through a process, and then after that process, you could actually get permission to conduct your research, and then you write chapters 4, and you conduct your research, and you'd write chapters 4 and 5. Well, it took me so long to get it done that the school changed the process by which you had to submit your dissertation. Now, mind you, remember, 2009, is when I started it, okay? So I gained a relationship. Now, let's just take you back. I gained a relationship, had a child, lost the relationship, left my job. Less than 1 month later, lost my father, and then down there lost my house, started a business, and still writing my dissertation. Now, I could have quit. There were several things I could have done. I could have quit. I could have got a second master's degree. I could have just thrown in the towel and said, this is too hard. When I finally got to the dissertation writers retreat again, I put my stuff together, and this was at the end of, I think, 2012. I submitted it, and the school changed the process. Meaning, I had been doing it for so long that the school changed the process by which you had to submit your proposal. They went from a proposal format to a portfolio format where you actually had to fill things out, go through a scientific merit review, which you had to do it all the same before, but it were different steps. You know, I think it went from 12 steps to 16 steps. Either way, it was more streamlined. It was better. I submitted it, and for some reason, it did not get to the school in time. And, you know, I wanted to blame everybody. Oh, it was my mentor. Oh, it was my this. Oh, it was the school. And I sat there in pissed off mode for about 3 months. I'll just screw it. I'm not going to do it. It's everybody else's fault. And then I thought about it. And I went, well, the school, the people that are making the decisions in the school already have their PhD. The people who are on your committee already have their PhD. You're the only dumb one that's sitting there complaining about something when these people told you that this is what you should have done in the first place. So I had to buckle down and turn back to me. And this is kind of the moral of the story when you're talking about going through some things in adversity. When you realize that everything that happens to you is a direct result of something that you did, you realize, or you make the decision to make that change. See, if I hadn't taken so long, then the school wouldn't have changed the process. They didn't do that to me. They did that to the school. That's just what it was. If I had have done my dissertation and followed the process and got on it like I was supposed to do, then I wouldn't have been caught up in that. So then I had to go through that process in all of 2013. And it was a process. And my scientific merit review failed 3 times until I got somebody on the phone and said, what am I doing wrong? And guess what? The answer was, as actually came as a question, how tied to you are you to this component in your study? And I went, not that tied to it. And my scientific merit reviewer said, fine, you take that out, you do this, this, and this, it'll be approved. Voila. Something, again, I had to do. It didn't have anything to do with what they were doing. They were doing their job. It's what I had to do. So I had to make the changes, and when I made the changes, it got approved, and I went to the next step. The thing, you need to understand is the majority of the problems that you get into all of the problems that you encounter, all have something to do with you. You have some responsibility in it, whether it's 50%, 60%, 90%, 100%, whatever it is. You are the cause for the majority of your problems. It's not everybody else. Sometimes people are just reacting to what you're doing. So the thing that you have to understand is once you get yourself under control and you take the emotions out of it and you start using your brain and your cognitions as opposed to your emotions and your feelings, then you start making progress. I stayed the course for this for all of 2013, and I had some great dissertation mentors. Dr. Hargis, I had Dr. Ford. I had these people on my dissertation committee who were committed to making sure that I finished what I started. And then right before Thanksgiving, which was almost like 4 years to the week, right before Thanksgiving in 2013, I heard the words, "Congratulations, Dr. Rich." And I sat there and thought, man, I did it. And one of the reviewers, one of my committee members asked me, "Dr. Rich, if you had it to do all over again, what would you change?" And my answer was nothing. I wouldn't change a thing because I wouldn't have these experiences. Now, little did I know that I'd be able to use this experience to pass on to you or somebody who's sitting there thinking about, man, I don't want to do this. Man, I'm going to give up. Man, I'm going to throw in the towel. Man, I'm going to get my second master's degree and move on. No. God put it in your head that you should have a PhD, and you put in the work and you've gotten this far. And I don't know who I'm talking to, but you can do this. Don't give up. If you put it down, pick it back up. There's only 2%, 1.9%, 2% of the population that have PhDs. And if God gave you the brain for it and the sight for it and the vision for it, for you to do it, to even start and even get this far to where you're just writing your dissertation and then you'll be done, stick with it. Okay? The moral of the story is, everything worth having is hard to get. My dying father, I called my father one day in the middle of my dissertation process, and I said, Dad, it's hard. He said, son, if it was meant to be easy, it wouldn't be called a doctorate and everybody would have one. And I'm not saying I'm any better than anybody else, because I'm not. I just went to school longer than you did. But I will say that I have what I have because I worked for it and I stuck with it and I kept my work ethic. And you can do the same thing. Work ethic. You can just keep going. When you're going through hell, keep going. You'll get through it. I promise you. And hey, if you don't have anybody else around and you don't know anybody else to talk to me. Call Dr. Rich. Hit me. You know, get on Twitter to Doc Rich Speaks. Get on Instagram to DocRichSpeaks. Doc Rich Speaks. Get on my website. Get my phone number. Call me. Email me. I'll answer you. Hell, put the comment down here, down below in the comments, and I'll respond to you on YouTube, okay? All I know is this, people. If you're in the middle of your dissertation and you're stuck, I can get you unstuck. But you have to believe that you can do it. Don't give up. Talk to me. I hope you guys got something out of this 12-minute thing that I went on. All right? Have a good one.